public business, my son, must always be done by somebody. It will be done by somebody or other. If wise men decline it, others will not. If honest men refuse it, others will not. Let frugality and industry be our virtues. Fire our children with an ambition to be useful. If conscience disapproves, the loudest applauses of the world are of little value. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. I read my eyes out and can't read half enough neither. The more one reads, the more one sees we have to read. I fear that in every elected office, members will obtain an influence by noise, not sense; by meanness, not greatness; by ignorance, not learning; by contracted hearts, not large souls. There must be decency and respect. Human passions unbridled by morality and religion, would break the strongest cords of our Constitution as a whale goes through a net. Go on and improve in everything worthy. The longer I live, the more I read, the more patiently I think, and the more anxiously I inquire, the less I seem to know. Do justly. Love mercy. Walk humbly. This is enough. Defeat appears to me preferable to total inaction. Because power corrupts, society's demands for moral authority and character increase as the importance of the position increases. I will rouse up my mind and fix my attention. I will stand collected within myself and think upon what I read and what I see. I will strive with all my soul to be something more than persons who have had less advantages than myself. The true source of our suffering has been our timidity. We have been afraid to think. Let us dare to read, think, speak, and write. Move or die is the language of our Maker in the constitution of our bodies. The smell of the midnight lamp is very unwholesome. Never defraud yourself of sleep, nor your walk. Friendship is one of the distinguishing glories of man. From this I expect to receive the chief happiness of my future life. Above all, except the wife and children, I want to see my books. You will ever remember that all the end of study is to make you a good man and a useful citizen. This will ever be the sum total of the advice of your affectionate father. To be good, and to do good, is all we have to do. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passion, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. Virtue is not always amiable. Our obligations to our country never cease but with our lives. We ought to do all we can. The prospect now before us in America ought to engage the attention of every man of learning to matters of power and right, that we may be neither led nor driven blindfolded to irretrievable destruction. Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people. You will never be alone with a poet in your pocket. Old minds are like old horses, you must exercise them if you wish to keep them in working order. No man is entirely free from weakness and imperfection in this life. Abuse of words has been the great instrument of sophistry and chicanery, of party, faction, and division of society. What do we mean by the revolution? The war? That was no part of the revolution, it was only an effect and consequence of it. The revolution was in the minds of the people. To believe all men honest is folly. To believe none is something worse. To believe all men honest is folly. To believe none is something worse. Fear is the foundation of most governments. I must study politics and war that my sons may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. Power always thinks it has a great soul and vast views beyond the comprehension of a weak. There is danger from all men. The only maxim of a free government ought to be to trust no man living with power to endanger public liberty. Liberty, according to my metaphysics, is a self-determining power and an intellectual agent. It implies thought and choice in power. The essence of a free government consists in an effectual control of rivalries. The Declaration of Independence I always considered as a theatrical show. Jefferson ran away with all the stage effect of that, and all the glory of it. The right of a nation to kill a tyrant in case of necessity can no more be doubted than to hang a robber, or kill a flea. My country has contrived for me the most insignificant office that ever the invention of man contrived or his imagination conceived. I, poor creature, worn out with scribbling for my bread and my liberty, low in spirits and weak in health, must leave others to wear the laurels which I have sown, others to eat the bread which I have earned. A common case. Let the human mind loose. It must be loose. It will be loose. Superstition and dogmatism cannot confine it. The whole drama of the world is such tragedy that I am weary of the spectacle. Without the pen of Paine, the sword of Washington would have been wielded in vain. Everything in life should be done with reflection. When legislature is corrupted, the people are undone. There are only two creatures of value on the face of the earth, those with the commitment, and those who require the commitment of others. Great is the guilt of an unnecessary war,